The planet called Xylar was not a place for weak people. It was a death world full of sharp rocks, burning sun, and strange animals that could kill with one bite. The small human colony on Xylar was always careful. They had come to this planet to mine rare metals, but life here was hard every day. Still, the colonists worked together and tried to survive. One day, something terrible happened. Strange creatures appeared from the deep caves. These creatures were unlike anything the colonists had seen before. They had many eyes, sharp claws, and their skin was hard like metal. The creatures moved fast and attacked everything. They broke machines, killed animals, and even hurt people. The colony's defenders fought back, but there were too many creatures. They kept coming in waves, and the colony's walls were not strong enough to stop them. The colonists sent a warning to their leaders far away. "We are in danger. We need help now," said the message. This was an SOS, a call for emergency help. The colonists hoped their message would reach friendly people who could send soldiers or ships to save them. But Xylar was far, and help might take a long time to arrive. Days passed, and the creatures did not stop attacking. Food was running low. Many people were tired and scared. The colony's leader, Commander Rayner, knew that they must hold on, but he worried if they could survive, until help came. One night, the sky lit up with strange lights. The colony's watchman looked up and saw a big ship moving fast toward Xylar. At first, the colonists felt relief. Maybe this was the help they had been waiting for. But then the ship's shape became clear. It was not like any friendly ship they had ever seen. The ship was huge and dark, covered with sharp spikes and glowing red lights. It looked like a war machine made only for fighting. The colonists knew this ship belonged to the Deathworlders. The Deathworlders were a powerful alien race known for being cruel and strong. They never helped others. They took what they wanted, by force, and destroyed anyone who tried to stop them. Commander Rayner called his officers. "This is not a rescue ship," he said. "It is a dangerous warship. We must prepare for battle." The colonists quickly gathered what weapons they had. They had old rifles, a few grenades, and some mining tools that could be used as weapons. It was not much, but it was all they had. The people built barricades and set traps around the colony. Everyone worked fast, knowing the Deathworlders' ship would attack soon. Inside the warship, the Deathworlders watched the planet through large windows. Their leader, a tall alien with many scars, smiled cruelly. "These humans think we will help them," he said. "No, we will take their planet for ourselves, send the ground forces, let them learn the meaning of fear." Back on Xylar, the colonists could hear the heavy noise of the warship landing. Dust and rocks flew everywhere as the huge ship touched the ground. The ground shook and the colonists felt the power of the enemy. But even in this dark time, the colonists did not lose hope. The engineer, a young man named Jackson, looked closely at the warship's armor. He saw strange patterns and thought maybe there was a way to fight back. "If we can find a weakness, we can win," he told Commander Rayner. The first part of the battle was about to begin. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the Deathworlders did not: hope and courage. They would fight not only to live, but to protect their home. The big warship stood like a giant shadow over the colony. Its dark metal surface glowed with red lights, making the night feel even more scary. Inside the ship, the Deathworlders prepared, their weapons and soldiers. They knew the humans were weak and they wanted to take the planet quickly. Commander Rayner looked at his small group of fighters. They were tired and worried, but he saw a fire in their eyes. "We can't give up," he said. "We have to protect our home and our people. We fight together." Jackson, the young engineer, worked late into the night. He studied the warships, designed through a small telescope. He noticed something strange. The ship's armor was thick, but the glowing red lights were not all over the surface. Some parts were darker, almost like they were weaker spots. He told Commander Rayner about this. "If we can hit these dark spots, we might damage the ship's shields," he said. "It won't be easy, but it could work." Commander Rayner nodded. "Good. We will try." The next morning, the Deathworlders sent small landing ships with soldiers onto the planet. The ground forces were fierce and well-trained. They carried heavy weapons and wore armor that could stop bullets. The colonists hid behind rocks and barricades, ready to fight for every inch of their home. The first battle was loud and brutal. The Deathworlders fired their weapons and the colonists answered with what they had. Some colonists used old mining tools as clubs. Others threw grenades made from leftover supplies. Every fight was a struggle, but the humans did not run away. Jackson moved carefully near the warship, trying to get closer without being seen. He wanted to plant small explosives on the weak spots he found. It was dangerous, but he knew it was their best chance. At one moment, a Deathworlder soldier spotted him. Jackson ran fast and hid behind a large rock. His heart was beating hard. He whispered to himself, "I can do this. For the colony." The battle went on for hours. The colonists used their traps and homemade weapons to slow the enemy. Some soldiers of the Deathworlders were hurt or captured. The humans' hope grew stronger. Commander Rayner sent a message to all fighters. "Hold your ground. We will not let them take Xylar." Jackson finally reached the ship's side. He attached the explosives carefully to one of the dark spots. The bombs were small but powerful. He quickly ran back to safety. Suddenly, the bombs exploded with a loud boom. Sparks flew and the ship's red lights flickered. For a moment, the shields weakened. The warship shook and the Deathworlders inside were surprised. "Attack now," Commander Rayner shouted. The colonists charged with new energy. They fired their weapons at the warship and its soldiers. The warship fired back, but its shields were not strong as before. Jackson smiled. "We found their weak spot," he said, to a nearby soldier. The battle was not over, but the humans had turned the fight around. They showed the Deathworlders that even though they were fewer in number and less powerful, they were brave and smart. As the sun began to set, both sides took a short rest. The colony was damaged, and some people were hurt, but they were still standing. Commander Rayner looked at Jackson and said, "You did well. We need more plans like this." Jackson nodded, but he knew the warship was still dangerous. The Deathworlders would not give up easily. That night, the colony prepared for the next attack. They repaired what they could and made more traps. The humans were tired but determined. They had fought hard, and now they had hope. Jackson stayed awake, looking at the stars. He thought about the warship and its secrets. "If we can control their technology," he said quietly, "we can win this war." The story of the small colony fighting a powerful enemy was just beginning. The humans were ready to face whatever came next. They would not let their home fall to the Deathworlders. After the battle, the colony was quiet but tense. The humans knew the Deathworlders would come again. Commander Rayner held a meeting with his leaders in the small control room. "We cannot only fight with guns and traps," he said. "We need to learn more about their warship. If we understand their technology, we can find better ways to win." Jackson stood near the doorway, listening carefully. He had an idea. "I want to try hacking their ship," he said. "If I can get inside their systems, I can cause trouble for them." Some leaders looked worried. "It's too risky," one said. "If they catch you, it could mean death." But Commander Rayner looked at Jackson with hope. "You are right. It is risky, but it might be our best chance. We will help you." Jackson spent the next hours preparing. He built a small, fast drone from old parts. The drone was quiet and could fly close to the warship without being seen. He put a small computer inside it to connect to the enemy ship's systems. When night came, Jackson sent the drone flying toward the warship. The colonies. People watched silently, hoping the plan would work. The drone moved carefully near the ship's surface. Jackson guided it through cracks and vents until it found a small opening. It slipped inside. Inside the warship, the drone started searching for control rooms. Jackson's heart beat fast. He could see the ship's systems on his screen. He found the main computer and started hacking. The ship's system was complex, but Jackson was smart. He worked slowly, avoiding alarms. He found a way to control some weapons and shields. Suddenly, an alarm inside the warship sounded. The Deathworlders realized something was wrong. Soldiers rushed to find the hacker. Jackson stayed calm. He sent a signal to the colony. "They know I am inside. Help me distract them." Commander Rayner ordered a small team to attack the warship's front gates. The team made loud noises and explosions, drawing soldiers away. Jackson used this chance to move deeper into the system. He turned off some weapons and made the ship's shields weaker in certain parts. The warship began to lose power. Outside, the colonists noticed the warship was acting strangely. It stopped firing its big cannons and started to slow down. "Giitsiu?" Deathworlders were confused. Jackson smiled. "We can fight now," he told Commander Rayner. The colonists attacked harder. They used their weapons and traps, taking advantage of the weak shields. The warship could not fight back as well as before. Inside the warship, the Deathworlders were angry and confused. Their leader shouted orders, but the ship's systems did not listen. The humans were controlling their own weapons. After a long fight, the warship began to lose control. Parts of it shut down. The Deathworlders' soldiers started to retreat. Jackson finished his hacking and sent the drone back to the colony. He was tired but happy. "We did it," he said quietly. Commander Rayner looked at the colony. "Today, we showed them we are not easy to destroy," he said. "This planet is our home, and we will fight for it." The colonists cheered. Even though many were hurt and tired, their spirit was stronger than ever. Jackson knew this was only the beginning. The Deathworlders would come back with more ships and soldiers. But now humans had an advantage. They could fight with both their hands and their minds. That night, the colony was alive with hope. The stars shone bright above Xylar. The small group of humans stood ready to protect their home no matter what. After their first big success, the colony was still not safe. The Deathworlders were angry. Their warship was damaged, but they had not given up. Commander Rayner knew they had to get ready for the next attack. "We need stronger defenses," he said, "and more plans." Jackson worked harder than ever. He studied the warship's systems from the information he had stolen. He found ways to build new weapons using the colony's mining machines. "We can make laser traps," he told the others. "They will hurt the enemy and protect us." The colonists were excited. They started building the traps around the colonies, walls and important buildings. Everyone helped. Men, women, and even children. The colony became a place full of hidden dangers for the Deathworlders. But the Deathworlders had their own plan. They sent spies to the planet in small ships. These spies moved quietly and watched the colony from the shadows. They wanted to find out where the humans were weakest. One day, the spies found a group of colonists fixing a power generator far from the main base. They attacked suddenly. The colonists fought back, but the spies were fast and had better weapons. The fight was short and violent. When Commander Rayner heard about this, he was angry and worried. "We cannot let them do this again," he said. "We must find the spies and stop them." Jackson thought for a moment. "We can use the new traps to catch them," he said. "If they come close, the lasers will fire and stop them." The colonists set traps in the areas where the spies might come again. They waited quietly and watched. After a few days, the spies returned. This time, the traps worked. Lasers fired and stopped the spies before they could escape. The colonists captured them. The captured spies were brought to Commander Rayner. The leader of the spies was tall and cruel. "Why do you attack us?" Commander Rayner asked. The spy smiled. "Your planet is valuable. The Deathworlders want it. We will take it by force." Commander Rayner looked at his people. "We will never give up this planet. We will fight until the end." The captured spies were kept as prisoners. The colonists learned important information from them about the Deathworlders' next moves. Jackson used this information to improve their defenses. He made new weapons and better traps. The colony was ready for the next big battle. One morning, the sky darkened with many ships. The Deathworlders had sent a fleet this time. Hundreds of ships flew above Xylar, blocking the sun and making the day look like night. The colonists stood together, ready to fight. Commander Rayner looked at the fleet and said, "This will be the hardest battle. But we are strong, and we Have hope. Fight for your home. The Deathworlders began their attack. The sky was full of lasers, explosions, and roaring engines. The new traps fired lasers that cut down many enemy soldiers before they landed. Jackson and his team worked in the control room, using every tool they had. They controlled the traps, sent drones to spy, and helped the fighters on the ground. The battle lasted all day. The colonists were tired, but they never gave up. They fought with everything they had. When the sun finally set, the Deathworlders were forced to retreat. Many of their ships were destroyed, and their soldiers were fewer. The colony had won the war battle, but at a cost. Buildings were damaged, and many colonists were hurt. Still, their spirits were high. Commander Rayner looked at the stars. "We have shown them that humans can fight back," he said. "We will keep fighting and never give up." Jackson smiled. "We are ready for whatever comes next." The fight for Xylar was far from over, but the humans had learned something important. They were not just survivors. They were warriors. After the battle, the colony looked like a broken city. Smoke rose from damaged buildings. Many people were injured. But still, the colony stood. And so did the humans. Commander Rayner walked through the streets. People looked at him with tired eyes, but also with hope. He stopped to talk to the injured, helped lift fallen debris, and thanked the young fighters who had stood strong. Jackson was busy too. He was checking the laser traps and drones. Many of them were destroyed in the fight. "We need to rebuild everything," he told the others. "And this time make it stronger." But something strange happened that night. A small alien ship landed outside the colony. It was not from the Deathworlders. It was old, slow, and had no weapons. The colonists aimed their guns, ready to shoot. But Commander Rayner raised his hand. "Wait, let's see who they are." The ship door opened. A group of aliens came out, tall, thin, and tired. Their faces showed fear and sadness. They raised their hands. "We are not your enemies," one said. "We are running from the Deathworlders too." The aliens called themselves the Tharn. They had lived on another planet, but the Deathworlders had taken it. Their people were scattered, some were hiding, some were dead. Only a few ships had escaped. "We heard the humans fought back," the Tharn leader said. "We came to ask for help, or at least safety." Commander Rayner looked at the others. Some humans didn't trust the Tharn. "What if this is a trick?" one man asked. "What if they're spies?" But Jackson stepped forward. "Look at their ship. It's old and broken. They have no weapons. If they were spies, they wouldn't come like this." After a long talk, the humans agreed to let the Tharn stay, under close watch. The aliens were weak and needed food and shelter. The colonists shared what little they had. The Tharn were thankful. They told stories of Deathworlder attacks on other planets. They spoke of many species being destroyed or turned into slaves. "The Deathworlders, don't stop," the Tharn leader said. "They want to control the whole galaxy. You humans are the first ones to fight back and win." Jackson listened carefully. He had an idea. "If other species are hiding or running, maybe we can find them. Maybe we can build something bigger. Not just a colony, but an alliance." Commander Rayner nodded. "That's what we'll do. We'll contact others, we'll bring them here. We'll share our weapons, our traps, and our ideas. Together we can fight back stronger." The Tharn agreed to help. Some of them had knowledge about space travel and enemy ship paths. They helped Jackson build new maps and find secret Deathworlder routes, and soon, more small alien groups started arriving. Some flying old ships, others landing in escape pods. Word had spread. Humans were not running. Humans were fighting. The colony became more than just a home. It became a symbol of resistance. People worked day and night. Humans and aliens side by side. They built new weapons, stronger walls, and faster drones. They trained together, they ate together, they planned together. The Deathworlders didn't know it yet, but something dangerous was growing on Xylar. Not just weapons, not just soldiers, but unity, hope, a reason to fight. Commander Rayner stood at the highest tower and looked at the sky. "Let them come," he said. "This time, they won't just face humans. They'll face everyone they've tried to break. And, in the dark space beyond the stars, the Death Worlders began preparing their final move. The days passed quickly on Xylar. The colony was changing fast. New aliens arrived from different planets. They brought stories of war, fear, and hope. The humans listened and learned. Commander Raynor worked with the new leaders. Together, they made plans to build a stronger fleet. The colony had only a few small ships before, but now, with the help of the Tharn and other aliens, they started building new warships. These ships were faster and had better weapons. Jackson was the head of the technology team. He worked day and night in the shipyard. He used parts from old Death Worlder ships that were left behind. He studied their technology and made new weapons for the humans and their allies. One evening, Jackson found something strange on his screen. A message was coming from deep space. It was a signal, weak but clear. He called Commander Raynor. "Sir, we have a signal," Jackson said. "It's from a group of survivors. They are trapped on a small moon near the Death Worlder space." Raynor looked at the map. "We can't leave them alone. They might have important information or weapons. We have to help." A group of fighters prepared for the rescue mission. Jackson joined them, ready to use his skills in technology and hacking. The journey was dangerous. The moon was in enemy space, guarded by Death Worlder patrols. The team had to fly low and avoid detection. They used stealth ships and quiet engines. When they reached the moon, they saw the survivors. They were humans and aliens, scared but alive. Their base was small and damaged. The Death Worlders had attacked them many times. Jackson and the team landed quickly. They helped the survivors get on their ships. But just as they were leaving, alarms went off. Death Worlder ships were coming fast. The fighters turned to fight. The sky filled with lasers and explosions. The humans and their allies fought bravely, protecting the rescue ships. Jackson used his hacking drone again. He sent it to the enemy ships and tried to shut down their weapons. The drone dodged enemy fire and reached the ships. Jackson worked quickly, and some of the enemy weapons stopped firing. This gave the humans a chance. Their fighters pushed the Death Worlders back and escaped with the survivors. Back at the colony, the survivors told their stories. They had seen Death Worlders take entire planets. They had lost families and homes, but they were strong, and they wanted to fight back. Commander Raynor knew their colony was becoming a true resistance base, not just a home, but a place where hope grew. Jackson showed the new survivors the weapons and traps they had built. The survivors were amazed. They said they wanted to learn everything. Days later, the colony held a big meeting. Humans and aliens gathered. Commander Raynor spoke. "We have a chance to stop the Death Worlders, but we must work together. We must share knowledge, weapons, and courage." A new leader from the Tharn stood up. "We will fight with you. Our people have suffered much. But now, with humans and others, we can win." The crowd cheered. There was energy and hope in the air. But far away, in the Death Worlder command ship, the enemy leader watched the colony's growing strength. "They grow too fast," he said. "It is time to end this war once and for all." He ordered his fleet to prepare for a massive attack. This would be the final battle. Back on Xylar, the colony prepared for war. Ships were built faster. Weapons were sharpened. Soldiers trained harder. Jackson finished a new device, an energy shield that could protect ships from enemy fire. "This might save many lives," he told Commander Raynor. The commander smiled. "We have come far, but the real fight is ahead. Stay ready." The stars above Xylar twinkled quietly, but the future was full of danger. The humans and their allies knew the Death Worlders would come, but they were not afraid. They were ready to fight for their home, for their families, for the future of many worlds. The final battle was near. The sky above Xylar filled with dark ships. The Death Worlder fleet was large and strong, more than anyone had seen before. The colony's fighters looked up and prepared. Commander Raynor stood on the bridge of the biggest human ship. He watched the enemy ships approach. Beside him, Jackson checked the new energy shields. "The shields are ready," Jackson said. "They will protect us from the worst attacks." The Allied ships moved into position. Humans and aliens fought side by side. The air was thick with tension and hope. Suddenly, the Deathworlders attacked. Lasers and missiles flew across the sky. Explosions lit the darkness. The colony's ships used their new shields and weapons. The laser traps from the ground fired at enemy ships trying to land troops. The fight was fierce and loud. Jackson controlled drones that flew into the enemy fleet. The drones shot down many ships and made the enemy confused. Jackson smiled. They didn't expect this. On the ground, the colonists and their allies fought too. The Deathworlder soldiers tried to break through the walls, but the traps and fighters held them back. Hours passed. Both sides lost many ships and soldiers. The battle was long and hard. Then something changed. Commander Rayner's ship spotted the Deathworlder leadership. It was bigger and stronger than the others. If they could destroy it, the enemy might lose hope. Rayner gave the order. Focus all fire on the leader's ship. The Allied ships fired their strongest weapons. The energy shields protected them from enemy fire. Jackson guided the drones to attack the leader's ship's weak points. The ship shook and burned. Finally, with a great explosion, the leader's ship was destroyed. The enemy fleet stopped and began to retreat. The colony cheered. They had won. Commander Rayner spoke to his people. Today, we fought for our home and for the freedom of many worlds. This victory is not just ours. It belongs to every species that stands against the Deathworlders. Jackson looked at the stars. This war is not over, but now we know we can win. The aliens and humans celebrated together. They had faced the worst enemy and survived. They were not just survivors, they were fighters. The Tharn leader smiled and said, "We will build a new future, together." The colony began to rebuild. They worked harder, knowing that peace might be fragile but worth fighting for. Commander. Rayner and Jackson planned to send messages to other planets. They wanted to build a bigger alliance, stronger than ever before. The SOS that once called for help had brought a great challenge, but also a new hope, and the humans of Xylar were ready for whatever came next.